Hello everyone, and welcome back. It's Creative Redundancy back again, also known as CR. Now, obviously, you could tell by the title, it's creation mode time plus some chit chat. Now, to be really honest, I'm not always in creation mode, but I am in creation mode 98.6% of the time. That other 1.4% is for like sleep, eating, such and such. Although I try to multitask as much as I can. Of course, as a real person, you know, with real life and, real responsibilities and stuff like that, comes first, and, things, events and stuff that I attend and stuff like that. Now, I'm no expert in survivalism, bushcrafting, or preparedness. Just someone trying to learn more and put that knowledge into something constructive. Now join me in creation mode as we can all discover the hidden potential of making something. Because you never know until you try. You might have one of those epiphanies or sudden realizations or something like that that's like, oh, why didn't I make this like 5 years ago or whatever. So it never hurts to try something. Maybe it doesn't work all the time, but until you try, you never know what you can really create. Alright, let me open up side chat here. In my windows here. Alright. Alright, let's whip out the intro here. Hey everyone, welcome back. Thank you for joining in on this live stream on my YouTube channel. I figure I feature a little bit of red here. Red is usually meant to, as a color, to symbolize something like passion. Well, I'm pretty sure I have a passion for creating still. It also symbolizes something like love, like a heart. So obviously, I love creating. Oh, I guess this is red too. Go figure. Anyways, let's put this to the side here. So hopefully everyone's doing okay. Hopefully everyone's having a good enough kind of week, even though it just started yesterday at this time. Might as well just throw in some more red in here. Why not? Add some more red. Yo, hey Glenn and Maureen. With Cabin Life with Glenn and Maureen. Yeah, Maple Leaf. Yep. I know people always ask me where I'm from. Where do you think I'm like from? Like the US? I'm like, no, I am not from the US. I am from that place above the US. above the 49th parallel. You know, the maple leaf. The land of the red and white without blue. What's up, Robbie? Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you taking the time to swing by. Well, both of you, I should say. You know what? I don't usually do this right away, but I have good faith in this, so even though I can do it on my own usually, I don't mind adding a few more, so why not? Might as well have some blue in there, right? Go ahead. Might as well, hey? So hopefully everyone's doing alright. You know, hopefully everyone's enjoying stuff. Enjoying the morning. Well, actually, it's pretty much morning everywhere in North America. And if you're overseas, I guess it's afternoon, so good afternoon. Or morning. Or evening. Or night. Wherever you are. And whenever you're watching this. And if you're watching this live, thanks for joining live. And if you're catching the replay, well, I guess you're gonna see what's gonna go on. Quick question on the side chat. Alright. And like I said, I made Glenn and Maureen here. They're one of my, you know, spanners, wrenches, moderators. Even though I could probably do it on my own, but hey. Glenn's an awesome dude. I'll probably come by later and check out a few more of your videos. I am enjoying your guys' content. Alright, well, since I've already been at it for like 8 minutes here, it's time to get into creation mode, right? Whew, creation mode. I'm just gonna talk about it for a second here. And that's why I don't have my face shown in this one, because I'm actually gonna show stuff, so it's easier if I actually have a surface. So creation mode, like, I kind of mentioned it before in a different live stream, and I'll try to end screen it in, probably a little bit later. So like, I kind of mentioned it before, but like I said, but why does CR create? Besides the obvious reason why I have a channel name as Creative Redundancy. You know, creating is one of those things, it's just, we can all do it. We can all create. I mentioned it before and I'll mention it again. Anyone can create. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter your race. It doesn't matter really about your age to a certain degree, I guess. Or your kind of, you know, gender, yes. Regardless. Anyone that's human, for lack of a better word, can create. Now, what you create is up to you. How good it is up to you. Like, when you're creating something for yourself, you're gonna probably be your own worst enemy, your own worst critic. Other people might be like, oh, it's great, and you look at it, it's like, I don't think it's that great. I've done better before. And sometimes that's a good thing because it motivates yourself to underrate something you made. So hopefully you'll be like, come on, the next time you create something like it, you'll be like, I know I can do better. If I can make a piece of wood and a piece of plastic do this, just imagine if I have a 2x4 and a whole room of plastic, for example. Oops. Just grabbing my coffee here. Ooh, cheers. So, anyways, and so, I kind of mentioned it before in a different live stream, but a lot of the times when I'm creating something, it's to serve a purpose, maybe a requirement or a need or a want, for lack of a better word. Something, let's say, for example, let's say you got one of those big 5-gallon buckets of water, rainwater, and you want to move it. That could be an issue, especially you're doing it a lot for whatever reason, right? To try to move the water so you can plant water like plants and trees and something like that. Where you want to kind of make the process more efficient, which is also another reason why you want to create something or get something to help you with it. So, for example, in that type of example, something that I might consider is, especially if you don't have help. If you have help, obviously there's other ways of doing it. With buckets, with like a pole with 2 people, because they'll spread the weight in half. So using this bobby pin as an example, your weight would be in the middle and 2 people would be holding it on the side. Cuts the weight in half. So instead of being 8 pounds, it'll only feel like 4 pounds for each person. But let's say you don't have an additional help. For example, and you're thinking, and sometimes you might have to kind of think outside the box, kind of test water and be like, maybe this could work. And maybe you're thinking more, let's say, scientifically about it, or more rational about it, I guess, where you're like, well, maybe some wheels will help. For example, like a wagon. I mean, a wagon could help you move like a gallon of water, for example, not a gallon of water, a pail of water, a 5-gallon bucket of water, for example. And it would make it easier, especially if you're doing a lot of it. So if you're moving it from one side to the other side, because you have to, and you're like, I don't want to waste gas for it. It's not that far, but it's far enough. Let's say 50 feet. I mean, like if you're doing that all the time, day after day, 2, 3, 4 a day, yeah, you'll probably be like, I gotta make this more efficient, so I'm not wasting so much energy. Especially if it's like, summertime like it is right now, where it's hotter out, and maybe it's still hot out and humid out at 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, or 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. And you're just like, I gotta make this more efficient. I gotta reduce the time so I'm not wasting so much time, so I can, do other things. So, you're considering using wheels, like I said, like a wagon. That would help. Alright, so basically, that was just to kind of summarize something another live stream I did about why I create. In a nutshell, I create because of the need, the want for it, to make it more efficient, and generally make the work, the task, easier to do, quicker, some saving time and energy, and also technically you'll be saving, well, if you're saving energy, you're not spending so much food energy that you stored up, from eating, calories to do the work. So it might help you in certain situations where, things aren't normal, let's just say. You gotta do things more manually again, where trying to save some time, some energy, making it more efficient could be useful. Something to consider on why to create something in the first place. That's awesome. That's awesome, Glenn. Water wheel pipeline takes a long time to build, but yeah, exactly. That could be another option too. From the example I was giving earlier about moving water, because that's the thing. Water has to move somewhere, and hopefully you're moving it into your garden and plants and trees and stuff like that, so it's not just running into the ground right away. Alright, just give me a sec here. I'm just gonna grab something here real quick. For the first thing we're gonna create in creation mode. Now, I came across these things, well, literally by coincidence. Or maybe it was meant to be, who knows, but I mean, when you see it, when I talk about it, there's gonna be given things that come to mind. So you wanna leave a comment or on side chat or something like that, feel free. Feel free. You know, constructive feedback's I always encourage that. There's no stupid questions, but I might give a stupid answer. There's no stupid questions, but I might give a stupid answer. Just saying. Just kidding. Anyways. Now, I got this first thing here when I was out just searching. I got it for free, so, and everyone's probably gonna be like, oh, anyways. Let me move this down here. I don't know, let's do this this way. This is first thing. I know, everyone's just like, yeah. Don't worry, I got this for free, and it's unused. Unused. I know. But I got this free, okay. So I'm just gonna open it up. Now it's supposed to contain, well, basically this is used for, well, enough said. If the picture doesn't say it all, I don't know what would. Because I don't want to write 1,000 words to describe this picture. I'm just reading it right here real quick. When I was looking at this, I was looking at the back, I was just like, it says mover pads, and it says hand and finger pad holder. It actually says that right here. Yeah, right there. And I was just thinking, I'm like, maybe it's like something like emery board, or for lack of a better word, sandpaper. I was like, well, emery boards have like survival uses. I mean, especially something like this, it might be a little bit more fine, something I could use. So let me open. Well, pull it out here. Now, it came with this nice pink book-like thing to store it in. Well, I'm not sure what I'm gonna use this for at the moment, so let's put that to the side. Now, it also came with these two holders. I guess you would put your finger for this, or your hand for this, or whatever, and okay. Now it feels like rubber. Now, if I remove the what's it called? This piece right here, let's say, because it's rubber, it's flat too. Now, let me set this straight first. I'm totally using this for its non-intended use. Obviously, it's got its intended use, and obviously, if you had something like this, you could use it for its intended use. But I'm a guy in this case, using this, maybe not so much. So I'm gonna use it for something else. Hence why I picked it up. Hello, Pam. Hey, you know what, Pam? While you're here, let's just say CR likes to see his friends look cool in blue. So let's have some blue fun here. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, so like I said, this is what it is right now. Blah blah blah. Yeah, yada. You can tell by the picture. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. All right. So these two pads. Now, like I said, they kind of feel like rubber. I mean, rubber. Let's say. Let me go get over here. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Now, I'm not sure how well this would work, but I have tried this with air rubber or something similar to this. I'm like, well, maybe I could use this as a straw. Might work. Now, obviously, I gotta remove this part of it because it's bulges out a little. It's not completely flat. Now, so I'm just gonna try this out first. I got this Mora right here. It's actually like really old. It's pretty older than pretty much anyone that would watch this, let's just say. So I'm stropping away here. It might work. Now, obviously, it's not flat, so I still have this thing on the other side, but it might work. It might work for stropping. I guess if I look on the inside here, you'll see that there's a what's that called? A bump. A bump line right here. So if I invert it, I might be able to get two small and two a little bit bigger. Alright. Now, I'm not that committed to cutting it, because one thing I've learned about, and you'll learn about when you're in carpentry and making stuff with wood, and is always always measure twice, or maybe even 3 times, cut once. Because, like, for example, for a bandage, for example, larger bandages can be cut down, but it's harder to kind of put together things at times. It's possible, obviously. It's a little bit more difficult. So you don't want to cut too short. For example, if you're trying to join something together and it's like, oh, I cut it too short. That means you gotta cut another piece, especially if it's wood going on the ground, because you don't want this little tiny little sliver, because everyone would notice that. So you have to cut it again. Or measuring twice and cutting, you might have saw, oh wait, I forgot to adjust for that little piece right here, for example. I'm just reading your guys' chat right now. Real quick. Okay, okay. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time to drop in. Anyways, where was I? So, measure twice, cut once. That's why I haven't committed to anything yet, to any of this stuff yet. I'm exploring my options, and that's sometimes I can't be in the creation mode yet, because I have to start with the discovery mode, and kind of discover and think ahead, think of ideas, maybe consider other things, maybe, you know, for lack of a better phrase, consider things outside the box, think outside the box, or traditional type of views. Maybe see something that be like, hey, if I took this off, maybe add this and add that and add this from over here, I can get something really awesome. I don't have an example, but you can admire me. Alright, so you seem to be missing one of the herb pads here. There used to be another one of these other ones, but we're also for this small one right here. And basically, there's like a little sticky thing, so it's like a sticker. So it's like a sticker, so I would stick it on. So I could use this with one of my hard drive type of sanders, grinding type of tools that I kind of, well, DIY'd. I have a video on that too, especially since I can stick this on the top of my spool, spin it, and go from there. But this is more fine, so I probably wouldn't do that. Of course, these also are bigger for the bigger one, and you know, they got the sticky side too. So let's see here. They look fairly fine, like fairly fine. Now, you know, I can't really guess the grit, but you know, obviously it's a couple hundred at least. You know, I guess if I, you know, if I wanted to, you know, keep one of the small ones, be like, oh, hey, I gotta get something off my nail or something. I don't know, maybe. No, since this is fine, I could use it like emery board or something like that if I wanted to touch up the cutting tool like a knife, for example. Maybe scissors. It's a possibility. I guess I can. Now, since it's both sides are pretty much the same, I could try cutting this and sticking it on. I'm not sure. I'm sure if I could, if that whip's not get in the way. Let me just see here. Not sure if I get it. No. No, I don't think I'll be able to get a blade in to go across without touching the rubbery part. Okay. So let's say if I put it on this side, I could use it flat down, like what's it called, to touch up a knife or touch up a cutting tool. Since it's rubber is naturally kind of more, doesn't slide around so much, so you know. So if I'm using it to touch up a knife, at least I know it's not, you know, stay still, relatively speaking. Okay, that's a possibility. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, and I guess the packaging I can recycle or reuse, or maybe make the box right here, since it's got a top and a bottom. You can cut across and use that box, for example, as like an organizer, or for like a certain bigger container that it fits in, you know, to make compartments. So maybe it's a little bit more organized, something like what's it called, those plain old containers, rigid type of containers. It's a little too wide for like a tin, but it's possible to resize it to make a kind of cardboard organizer. Hey, it's Joker. What's up? From Creators Alliance, thank you for taking the time to drop in. I appreciate it very much. So, actually, I missed that live stream you did. I think you were mentioning about some YouTube changes. I might wanna drop by and watch that. Seems informative. So, just so you know, obviously, stay up to date on what's going on. So obviously I was missing stuff because I wasn't paying attention. Let's see. So let me just catch up on the chat here. Okay. Anyways. Oh, I almost forgot about this. Now, you know, thinking about this, I'm like, well, this is kind of like clear vinyl. I could use it. Okay, let's say if I don't cut this yet, what could I use this for? I mean, you know, I guess if I was female or enjoyed pink, I might be able to use it as organize like a purse, maybe a little bit more one of those, something a little bit bigger as a compartment. Maybe put something inside, like, or whatever. Let's say if I had like a notebook or something, I probably could put it in there, close it, probably make some sort of like bungee cable, shock cable to go around. A little button right here. It's a possibility. But I don't like the pink. Nothing against pink, but I'm like, well, I don't want my notebook looking pink. It's not quite CR. It's not quite me. So let's try something else. So let's see. This is clear vinyl. I could use it to put layered tape on, which I've shown before. Let's see if I don't have an example nearby, but basically it's just layered tape, non-continuous tape, and well, I have a video on that too, so that's possible. Now, one thing I could do with this is something I might actually fit. Now, this ain't the thickest type of vinyl, but for anyone that likes, or maybe has something like it in our wallet and such, these magnification type of credit card size lenses like this one right here, which is modified. Ooh. See my prints? No, I'm just kidding. And usually these are used for like seeing closer on something. So, you know, that. Oops. Now move my camera. So usually these are used for like looking closer at something, or maybe using it for like solar ignition for fire making. And that's actually why I have two colors on this side, so I know which side to aim towards the sun or the light source. And there's a few other secondary uses. Now, I was considering, let's see here, let me move this into frame of it. The one that's right about here, so I could make a sleeve out of it. Now these usually come with a plastic sleeve, like a cheesy plastic thin sleeve. I tend to start to use vinyl. Actually, the one I use, I have this is actually vinyl right here. This is actually vinyl. I find this works, maybe not necessarily works better, but it lasts longer. That plastic's not gonna like rip, not necessarily rip, but like tear and stuff like that. So something you might see on like thinner plastic you might see on like I don't know, like it's like a thin like plastic like on a baggie, on a clear baggie. And anyone that's used a clear baggie knows how, you know, they rip. No, I was like trying to find my lens here. I'm glad I actually put this so I can actually notice it. So it might work for that. I could put it on there since I have two sides. Stick them together. Either melt them, iron them, tape them together, and make a kind of a sleeve for like a card like this, which, you know, maybe not specifically a magnification type of card like this, but it could be for another card. Could be, you know, might be for your primary debit card, I don't know, or something like that. Something you want to keep separate. Or maybe you got some of those knot tying cards. Could work too. Could work too. Or I could make a sleeve for a clear sleeve for something else. So, yeah, it's all possible. Of course, I'm just thinking out loud. You know, anyone that has any ideas, you know, feel free. You know, join the creation mode. You know? No, just because I like to create doesn't mean I've created everything or even thought of everything. You know, I'm just one person, but collectively we can actually create probably a lot more because, you know, we can put ideas together, blend ideas together, and such and such. Hey, it's Robert from Bob's Woodland Adventures. Hello, thank you for taking the time to drop in, man. I appreciate it very much. And also, I'm missing on the chat, so I'm going back up on the screen here real quick. Hello, Gray. 1107, thank you for taking the time to drop in. I'll answer that in a sec. Oh, hey, thanks, man, for taking some time before your coffee and breakfast. Hopefully you have a good day. You know, hopefully everything's good with you, and you know, whatever goes on for your day and week, hopefully it's the best you can make it. And it feels like I'm missing something there. Your duct tape kind of. Well, like I said, vinyl. I'm starting to use vinyl to store my tape. Now, for lack of a, well, you know, why not? I'll share the story. I actually shared the story in their video, which I actually talked about the tape. Or something else you can get vinyl from. Binders. But basically, that's where I like to store tape from. Because I tried the kind of more conventional, oh, let's store tape on some wax paper. Now, maybe it's the wax paper I was using, but the ones that I tried, let's just say it didn't work for me, and it failed on me when I needed to tape the most. Because basically it fused together. But anyways, I have much more success with vinyl and tape. Especially something really sticky like duct tape or Gorilla Tape. Never had issues of getting it off. Oh, so yeah, anyways. So what am I creating? No, not Bob, Gray. What am I creating? I'm just exploring things. Basically, just taking things that I have and kind of showing you guys live, obviously, kind of how I see things when I look at things. You know, if anyone doesn't know, this is what I'm showing. Enough said. You can tell by the image, right? So you could tell all this stuff. And I'm like, you know, there's a lot of hidden potential, maybe secondary uses for something like this. Now I got this free, so it doesn't really matter what I do with it. I'm just kind of thinking of what I can do with it before I kind of do something, because obviously measure twice, cut once, as they say. And basically I was just thinking, you know, maybe something similar to an emery board, for example. I've heard about stuff like that for survival type of uses, and obviously there's probably other uses. Rubber could be used. I was like thinking, I'm like, well, it could be used for something else. It does kind of have a handle. I was thinking, I'm like, if I actually had two the same size, I could be like, hey, I could make a little mini sandal. Just kidding. That'd be hilarious if I made little mini sandals from this. But unfortunately, I only have one, and I said sandals, so obviously you need two. So that's out of the question. Probably something I wouldn't really do, but maybe. So let me put this back down here. This is something I've been considering. Now I'm just using this as an example. I'm not committing anything to it yet, guys. Although I'm probably not cut this up, use the kind of sand like paper or something. And this outer pink thing, I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. And of course the cardboard, all this stuff could be reused, and I think this is why I have the recycling type of symbol up on the thumbnail for this, because sometimes, a lot of the times when I'm in creation mode, I'm actually reusing something. Alright, let me just catch up on the chat here. You guys are very, very quick on the chat here. Alright. Bob's Woodland saying clearer. Yeah, clear would be cool. Yeah. You know, I was thinking, if you can, it's possible. Let me consider this here. It's possible if you had clear stuff. And, you know, I didn't really think about this, so I appreciate the constructive feedback. Like, any time during creation mode, feel free to leave a comment, you know, an idea, you know. Just because I create all it doesn't mean I've come up with everything, thought of everything, you know. As much as I think outside the box, remember, all our boxes overlap, you know, metaphorically speaking. So, where your box ends, I might not even see that. If that makes any sense. So, considering what you said, if I had clear tape right here on the clear part, for example, it's layered in. Now, I haven't played around with that stuff a lot, so I don't know how transparent it is, but I was considering if you had like something reflective on the other side, could it reflect all the way through? Don't know. Nah, just like, you know, foil tape on one side and clear type of tape on the other side. I don't know. This is something I've just kind of thought of just reading what you were saying. Glue, hey? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Pam? Do you want to elaborate that, what you said about glue? Now, like I said, I don't pay attention to the channel right at the same time that I'm talking, because usually I'm focused on what I'm talking about, so. Hey, thanks, Glenn. Appreciate that. Hey, Pam. I'm just one person. You know, just because it's in my name right there, just because I have it as a name, doesn't mean you can't be creative too. You know, and consider things. You know, sometimes, you know, I take something from like the past and then be like, kind of adapt it to the present time, let's just say. It's like, huh, this actually works. Can still apply to now or nowadays. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Okay. You meant to type it. That's what I get for sticking my nose into that. Just kidding. I gotta make the puns too. A little bit more entertaining, right? Speak of stuff. Almost forgetting my coffee. Woo, coffee. Yeah, but Pam, you've made stuff before, right? I'm pretty sure most people have made stuff in some form or fashion. If you made something, you're creating. You're putting something there, you're creating. And to a certain degree, you know, most people create when they're cooking. If you enjoy cooking, you might be like, hey, I have this with leftovers. Okay, I'm gonna try this out. You know, or you're experimenting. Exactly, Glenn. Right? Pam makes videos, so pretty sure there's something in there. Maybe now, maybe the creative bone you have, Pam, is not as big, metaphorically speaking, but you know. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna leave that. I gotta watch what I'm saying. So it doesn't come as a misunderstanding. So yeah, most likely I'll probably keep these with the sandpaper that I have or emery boards I have. Something like these for here, which would actually be used for like to put this on, and like I said, this sticks on one side, so I might keep one like this, and I'll keep these other two separate. Use these with my sanding type of things that I do. Now this one, I might actually cut this off, right? Should cut this right off right here. To make this one, you know, it's funny. I was just thinking that if this was round, but it's not, I can make something out of it. But nah, maybe I won't dip into that. No. Anyways, maybe put this away real quick here. Just put this away here. Let's see. Man, but Pam, to a certain degree you're creating. Like I said, there's ranges and different levels of creativity. But I truly believe that anyone can be creative. I truly believe anyone can create something. I truly believe that anyone can make something. Now, what you create is up to you. And, you know, obviously, stuff like resources and tools and gear are not vary, so, you know, let's just say it's like the difference between like flint knapping something and trying to like probably forge something. A little bit different, and the results might vary. Anyways, maybe put that away here before I forget here. Oh, since I'm actually here right now, oh, let me get it out here. Oh, well, it's off to the side. Well, I actually have like a container that I put sandpaper in. I like, well, because I acquired a whole bunch, then I acquired a few more extra scraps. I mean, like a little scrap, but I'd say like 3 by 3 inches. I mean, like, well, there's no point in tossing that, especially if it's still good. Especially if it's like coarse type of sandpaper where I can just use it to sand down a piece of metal real quick, not really have to worry about it, about like per se using a new sheet. Especially on like anyone that's used some of these sanding discs or whatever, sometimes there's still parts of it you probably could use versus it's not totally worn down yet. So let's put the YouTube. Oh yeah, since some of you might not know, this is actually something else I created right here. Ooh, look at the shadow effects I have with it. Just kidding. Actually, this used to be a sticker, but now it's a magnet, so I can stick it on stuff like this piece of metal that I have, or like these scissors I have. Ooh. So let me put that right there. Okay. Oh yeah, well said, Glenn. Well said. I couldn't even said it better myself. Glenn's getting a thumbs up for me on that one. Alright guys, I got something else here. I've actually shown this before technically, but as I remember not to try to sit on stuff that I just pulled out. But since I actually have an audience here, let's see what you guys can do with this. Now, I have ideas for this container. Now, I have actually shown this container in a previous mail call video from Sammy here. Now, it's for word snaps on it. 4 snaps on it. I'll give you guys dimensions in a little bit here. There's 2 round type of places to put a lanyard, or probably like something to dangle it so I can like have a handle. Okay, it's got this pretty yellow thing on it. Not the most durable thing, I would say. It's not that thick. I'll open up the inside. Just a slim rubber gasket. Thing right here, but you can see. I can point that out right there. There's a. It's broken right there. The rubber's broken right there. Now I probably could make alterations or fix that. Now. I got a lighter. Anyway, this is a normal big lighter, regular size, such and such, so you guys can kind of get an idea. So you guys can kind of get an idea right there about the dimensions. I'm going that way. Let me get a ruler out here. Ruler? What am I saying? Tape measure. Oh, like this one that I, pardon me, like this one that I actually EDC. Yes, I actually EDC a tape measure. Now remember, I like to create, so sometimes I gotta check measurements. Like I said, measure twice, cut once. So it helps to have, sometimes to have a tape measure. So, because of that, I've started to EDC every day, carry a tape measure. Now also, this is not that long, but it's doable. 3 feet, so the thickness of this is about maybe the thickness going across right here is just under 2 inches. 2 inches, 5 centimeters, and about 4 inches, 10 centimeters, and its longest side for this is about 6 1/4 inches, or about 16 centimeters, roughly speaking. So it's in the shape of a rectangle, or a rectangular prism, I guess. So let's see. Anyone got any ideas? Things to consider first, out of the box, so to speak. So let's see what you guys got here. Okay, a first aid kit. Now, this would be better if it was red, technically. Now, I do have a red type of first aid kit that's a little bit smaller than this. Now, also, this would contain a lot more. And I also have first aid kits that are bigger than this. So, I'm not really pressed for having another first aid kit of this size, anyways. Not saying I don't want another one, but I'm not sure where I would put a first aid kit with these dimensions, this size, for what I have right now. Now, for someone else, that might be an option, you know. So let's see what else. Yeah, well, obviously I can put a lot of stuff in there. I mean, first aid stuff in there. True. No, I mean, obviously, I could figure out a way to make a organizer for this. Now, what you're seeing right here is actually the bottom. So, put the later in there temporarily. So, okay, or not. So, what you're seeing with the lighter is the bottom. Well, like when you look down. I mean, I guess this could be used for first aid, like Glenn said. I mean, it would fit something like gauze. Might fit like something like triangular bandage in. And hopefully, and because it's long enough, like I said, it's about what would I say, 6 1/4 inches or 16 centimeters. I could, in theory, if I actually could find them here, put the actual scissors inside. Now, I mentioned this on a different first aid video, but if you don't have scissors in your first aid kit, try to make sure, to make sure that you can actually cut stuff with it. So if you put scissors in, make sure you can cut something like denim. That way, if you actually have to cut a pant leg, you can actually do it. So let's see. Now these scissors I have here, these are full tang, for lack of a better word. These would actually fit in here, and you just saw I could cut denim with it, so I should be able to cut like a pant leg, a shirt if need be, maybe a jacket if need be. That doesn't happen a lot, but might be an option. I mean, not an option, but might be necessary. So scissors would fit in here. I'm almost thinking about it right now, going to make a first aid kit, but I'm in discovery mode right now. So let's see, what else? Oh yeah, I'll put the lighter in there for now. Like Gorilla Tape to put over top. Now, I do have something else that came with this mail call, which is more like reflective type of, sheesh, I should turn on the light. Hold on a second. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna turn on the light because every time I pull things away, it changes my white balance, or I have to adjust. Hold on a sec. That should help. I actually turned on the different lights, so when I'm walking the camera like this, it might help a little bit more. So yeah, I have this reflective stuff that came with it. Now, the thing is, I would have to seal that in, the tape, because tape over time will wear down, the edges will peel out, or like, unbind from the surface. So I would have to layer the tape on, the red tape, and use some sort of clear gloss or something like that. Now, if I had access to red spray paint like that, maybe. But then, then I have to get, at least on the outside, right? Because also, it doesn't matter if it's red on the inside, obviously. That's not gonna matter so much. Now, because this is long, I could fit a pretty good sized mirror inside for first aid reasons. To check your face, your back, and stuff like that. Places that you can't normally see. Or your back of your shoulder or something like that. Especially if you're trying to apply, I don't know, sunscreen, or apply something like afterbite on, like a mosquito bite or something like that. Now, some of those tubes that you might see, like for like afterbite or something like that, they could fit in here. Now, I'm not sure. I think an EpiPen is actually too big to fit in this. It might fit diagonally, but I don't think it would actually fit along one of the sides. But I don't have an EpiPen, and I'm not googling how tall they are, or how tall they are. So let's see what else. Exactly, Robert. With Bob's Woodland Adventures, yeah, exactly. Make sure it's sharp knife, yep. And really, the real reason is, just in case anyone doesn't know or watching or whatever, the reason why a sharp knife is usually better, or is better, I should say, or safer, is because every time you use your blade, knife, whatever, right, you have to apply a certain amount of pressure for it to cut or chop. So instead of having a wedge, now basically a cutting tool like a knife, an axe is basically a wedge that's sharp and metal, or two inclined planes, two triangles side by side to make a wedge. So it wedges the wood apart. Well, if it's more pointy, it's gonna wedge through that easier, because if it's not, it's gonna be flat on one side along that supposedly cutting surface. So it's gonna be like this instead of like this, if that makes any sense. So which means that you have to apply a lot of pressure, which means that you have less control. And if you have less control, something else could happen. It's happened to me. That's for sure. I'm not immune to that. But obviously, you know, I've learned from that. Anyways. A little off topic there. Let's see. Stick some fishing hooks, fishing line in there, and scissors, and you have a small survival box. You know, fam, I was actually thinking of making like some sort of fishing kit from this. I was considering it because I'm like, well, it is a good size. I wouldn't mind it. I might consider it. I mean, might be able to. You know what? Let me try something here. I don't think it's gonna work, but let me see here. Let me get a folding stove here. Now, I don't think this would fit in here, but I'm gonna try this out. Let me just get mine out here. So everyone's familiar with one of those folding stoves. Now, I know the S-bed one would probably fit in here, but let's try the bigger one. I don't think it'll fit in here. Nope, it does not fit. Oh, wait, can I close it? Oh, look at that. I can't believe it. I actually thought it was gonna be too small for this, but it actually worked. I'll even close it. Oh, ooh, look at that. All the snaps are closed, guys. Alright, let me open this back up real quick. So one of these kind of folding stoves could fit in here. But the only downside is, it takes up the whole room. But, it would protect it from water. Okay, anyways. That's a side thing. And also, you know where that's on way to, too. Okay, so fishing kit. Now, let's see, let's think about this for a sec. A fishing kit. What are you gonna need? Hooks. Maybe some sinkers and stuff like that. Now, and bobbers, fishing leaders, maybe flies and stuff like that. Oh, speak of flies. Speak of fishing flies. I think if I'm talking about fishing stuff, might as well actually put something in there temporarily. So I'll put this one in. Maybe like that one. Such and such. Something else I've worked on. Let's see here. Another one here, and such. I don't even know what this is. Okay. No, I was thinking. The major problem the issue I would have if I made this into a fishing kit is the organization. Because you need an organization for something like a fishing kit. Because I can't just have everything in here. It's gonna be too messy. Too slow of a deployment. Where it takes too long to do any of it because you know, without the organization. Now, considering that, or thinking about that, I could put sub-organization thing in. So I could put some sort of sub-organizer in here that would fit. Now I could try it with cardboard first, with cardboard little boxes, and put them in, adjust the height for the height of the case. Might work. I could try something where I put like sticky stuff up here of whatever and try to stick my flies to it, stick the hooks to it. Now, another thing I could try with this is to use magnets and use magnetism to stick the hooks on the flies, such and such. Now, one thing I might have to really consider before even doing all that is, can I get the spools in? The spool of fishing line. I mean, it's one thing if I had, like, you know, bank line or inner strands of paracord doing it, or you know, actual braided fishing line. But if I'm using monofilament, I gotta make sure it's not too thin to avoid the memory effect so much. So I tend to use a little bit wider ones, so the loop that comes out from the memory effect isn't so small, if that makes any sense. Now, spool, well, I mean, I can make a spool for it. I could probably even make a spool, like, to go on the height side, no, the length side, yeah, the length side, yeah, height, or the width side, yeah, the width side, anyways, you know, the side going from the front to the back of it. Anyways, so that's an option. So I think if I had the organizers in it, some way to keep the hooks separate, keep the you know, the bobbers separate, sinkers maybe, it might actually work for a fishing kit pan. It wouldn't be too bad. I mean, like, especially considering it's got little places I could probably get like paracord around or whatever type of cord it. Could use it as a handle, make a handle for it, go from there. Of course, that handle could be whatever, right? I can make it as long as I want, make it go over my shoulder, or something like that. Probably wouldn't make a neck fishing kit from it. Just saying. But I mean, it is square, so easily fits into places like a glove compartment of a vehicle or in a backpack. Anyways, I'm missing out on the chat again. Sheesh. Okay. Exactly, Glenn. Yeah, you'll need it if you lose control. So, you know, mentioning how you guys said it fits and it's made for it, you know, sometimes sometimes until you try, you never know how things fit together. Now, obviously, you know, it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes it's not like what I just showed. It fits perfectly. No, sometimes it's like, oh, it's too big by that much, which is really small. Like, you know, 16th, maybe even 1/32 of an inch or something like that. Really, really small distance, a millimeter, and just doesn't fit. Or it doesn't, it fits, or it fits and you can't fit anything else you want in it. Sometimes that happens too. Now, other times, it's not like that, where it's just like, boom, 1, 2, it just fits in, and it's like, I should have did this before. I should have made it like this before. It fits perfectly. Like it was always meant to be, as I always say. So let's see. Hey Pam, you know what's funny? Oh, you mean like a tongue depressor, hey? Oh wait, this is a tongue depressor. Kind of big. Of course I got that. It's like off to the side in my fire chest right now. Okay. Take some strips of water. Okay, I can see that. You know, if I put strips along it, some way of keeping it in there or whatever, that might work. I don't know. I think I would have to just think about it. Now, another thing I have to consider is maybe have like a full-size divider to divide the space in half. That way, things on the lid side don't mix in with the bottom side and vice versa. You know, I could see that being an issue depending on what I put inside. I think if anyone was using this organization, like obviously if you're just putting like your phone, like, well, I guess that's another option too. You know, putting your smartphone with your charging cable. Actually, you might actually even be able to fit a battery bank or a power bank or inside one of these. Man, that would be so bad. That would actually work. Actually, now that I think about it, you probably could fit your phone, charging cable, and maybe a battery bank inside. Some of them are quite. You can get the thinner ones. Might work. Now I'm thinking with like a DIY right now. I'm thinking, oh hey, if I put solar on top, yeah. But anyways, that's a little too much. So yeah, that's a good idea. See, I appreciate you guys' feedback. Well, not feedback, but comments right now. Very constructive. I appreciate it. You know, just things that I haven't even considered, or maybe not really gave it a second thought. It just came to mind. I'm like, and I brushed it by, which happens to me from time to time too. Flat bobbers. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. You think, okay. Yeah, hey, I can't wait to see that video on your Altoid stand. That'd be kind of cool to see. Okay, cool. Alright. Now, like I said, the folding stove. I was thinking of a fire kit, but the thing is, I tend not to use these for a fire kit unless it's completely waterproof. I would have to test this out, and like I said, there's a gap in there. There's a gap right on this corner right here. You can see there's a gap in between that, so it's not let water through. So I'm not gonna use this for a fire kit. But if it did seal and it did pass like some submerging tests I did, yeah, I guess I could use this as a fire kit. Put one of those bigger, wider ferro rods in, a couple lighters in. Well, it would fit some fat wood, some lighter rod, more candles. And since another thing is, since it's so much bigger than like an Altoids tin or even some of the puzzle tins I've shown, I could get a magnification lens in here that fits the same size as the bottom surface area. But I got too many fire kits. And I'm not convinced that I would like this enough for a fire kit. So, yeah. You know, I was almost thinking of making this into like a sewing or like a spice kit, but I'm like, it's kind of big. It's kind of big. Not sure if I need that many spices, and I don't think I ever sew and repair that much. So I might consider the fishing kit though. Maybe. I might consider either the fishing kit or maybe something like a first aid kit. Something like that. Or maybe I'm just putting electronics inside. I mean, that's an option too. Might not be able to submerge it, but, you know, it's gonna be, relatively speaking, splash proof. Rain proof to a certain degree. So, anyways, you guys are awesome at creation mode. I knew you guys were. See, I knew you guys were. Anyone can create. It's not just me. It's not just a fad. Oh, okay, I'll get that way. Oh, okay. Okay, both Pam and Glenn, I see you guys are taking off. Thank you for taking the time to drop in. I appreciate it very much. So, I'm reading what you guys just real quick here. Thanks, guys. Well, I guess Glenn and Pam are on this a little bit more creation mode, but hopefully they'll come back and watch the replay. Oh, especially since I left a message on the side chat, so it's time stamped. Hey, thanks, Glenn. You know what? I like people in blue more than in gray, and I appreciating their channel support so much. So even though I usually can moderate myself, but you know, doesn't hurt to have an extra pair of hands, as they say. All right, Ryan. I'll catch you later. Bob's Woodland Adventures. Thank you for taking the time to drop in. Okay, so, anyways, here's something else I've been fooling around with a little. Now, clearly these are not done. Well, they're done, but they could be better. Let's just say, just something I kind of just part of, kind of mixing the old with the new, for example. I'll bring out a piece of paper here because I'm gonna be writing with a feather pen. I don't even know how I came up with this. Who knows? Maybe I was watching something about like old-fashioned pens from like, you know, and stuff like that. But I was just like, the tubes from some of these pens, depending on the feather, can actually fit within the structure of the feather, like what I have right here. And of course, this actually does right. Right? Let me see here. So it does actually right. You know, it's a eye or whatever, right? It does fit on my hand. Now, I'm hoping to find a better feather than this one. Because actually, I always have to find a feather that's wide enough, like, so I can actually get it in there. So, I'm trying to remember what this part of the feather is called. So, anyone knows what this part of the feather is, right there? Let me know, because I'm not familiar with it enough. And, well, I'm not Googling right now. But I was just like, maybe I should try to do something with this. Now, I might wait till I get a better feather to do this, but of course I have another one right here, which is black. Yeah, black. Oh no, it is actually blue. It's because I'm trying to look at the camera and my screen. So basically this just came from a pen, and basically I, well, went up through the tube of the feather. So let's see here. Now I could dye this right now if I wanted to, but I think I'm gonna try something else here. Let me move my YouTube sticker right now here. There's something I have considered this before, and something else where, well, basically it came to mind because, well, it just came to mind. I see potential in a lot of resources. I tend to try to reuse stuff. Maybe think outside the box a little, like I always say. So, let's think outside the box, right? I'm gonna try something else here. Now, this may be adapted to something else, something similar. Results may vary, of course, and you know, it's yada yada yada. So what I'm gonna do with this is, because I actually want to make this a little bit better, is I'm gonna trim down some of these feathers right here. Let me make sure I'm in frame here. Yeah. So I'm gonna trim these feathers down. So, oh, look, might as well use the scissors I had. I'm gonna trim those just a little here. Now, don't worry, these feathers are going to be kind of reintroduced into the environment again. I'm gonna recover that resource for something similar to like compost and stuff like that. That's what I tend to do. So, anyways, okay, I got an idea. Let's see. Now, like I said, I have a passion for creating. I love it, so to speak. So maybe now, obviously, it's not red, but I'm gonna add some red to it. Why? I have no idea. Of course, I could do it with other colors, but I'll do it with red, or at least show it with red. So I got this piece of paracord right here. As you can tell, it's just the outer strand, or outer shell, sleeve, whatever you want to call it, so without the inner strand. Now, a lot of times, aside from making like a fishing, a fly for a fish, a fly for a hook, What else could you use this for? Yeah, and you might be able to stick something together, right? Well, I'm gonna try something else here. Now, hopefully this will work. Hopefully I'll be able to take this out. Still, hopefully. But, oh yeah, I got it out. So technically I could still change this out, change the ink out, because also it depends on dry out eventually. So you can see straw-like tube from the feather. What I'm gonna do is put this, oh look at that, put the paracord over top of it. Now let's put the tube back, the pen back in. So let's put this back in here. Now if this was blue piece of paracord, well, like that matched the color of the pen, that would probably be better. Now, let's see, with the feathers. Okay, you could dye it. I'm gonna try something else here. Since I'm talking about red, and I guess I'm gonna be Canadian and use a lot of red in this video. Hey, thanks, Gray. It's called calamus or hollow shaft. I think I pronounced that right. Calamus or calamus. Calamus, right? I pronounce things phonetically. So, hey, Rollers, man, how's it going, man? Thank you, both of you for sticking around, and of course, Rollers, thank you for taking the time to drop in. I appreciate it, man. So yeah. Anyways, now, ouch, I gotta watch where I'm putting this here. See, the only thing is I don't have it all the way down, so working on that. But I could do something like this, maybe even heat that up. I probably wouldn't heat this end up, just so I'll probably leave it like that, so I can still get a pen in there. Of course, this would have been better if it was blue, but I'm Canadian, so I'm not making this red. So I'm gonna use something again. And you kind of notice how I'm using things like unconventionally, outside the box. Because sometimes, you gotta consider things from all sides, from all angles too. So, and I guess I can add it into the description or in the text about it because I'm using it, but I'm gonna try something else here. Now, one thing I do have to get here is a tissue here. I don't have a tissue here, so I'm gonna use a little piece of cloth here. I have just cut a little piece off. So I'm gonna cut a little piece of cloth here off. You'll see why in a sec. It'll make sense. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna color this feather without not using dye, like drink crystals, concentrated drink crystals, such and such. I'm gonna use something else. Lipstick. Yeah, I know, everyone. CR, oh, you got lipstick, man. Cause I like to create. I like to experiment. In creation mode. Anyways. Let me set down a piece of paper here. It'll make sense. Now this will work with white. Now I'm just gonna take a little bit of it. See right there. Just gonna apply some on. Now, you're doing this. I'm sure no one's gonna use the lipstick anymore. maybe it's that off color that your GF, wife, etc., fiance, significant other doesn't care that you use, doesn't care if it gets used for something else, doesn't care if it goes missing, because you don't want to get in trouble, guys. It's not gonna be good. You might be in the doghouse, sleeping on that couch, or sleeping in your car. The quill. That's what I should say. The quill. Anyways, so let me just apply a little. Now I'm gonna temporarily move the piece of outer strand of paracord here. I'm just gonna remove it. Temporary. So it's just a feather right now. Now what I'm gonna do is just apply a little bit of lipstick on it. Not too much. Because I've actually tried this out before. Let me see. So it's just a little. Honestly, depending on the color, you know, stuff like that. Lipstick does. I'm not even gonna apply that much yet. We'll see why. And of course, you know, it is whatever color you have, such and such. Now, you can see here that I have it on. And what I'm gonna do is just smear it, spread it a bit. That's why you have a tissue or whatever. So kind of like anyone took an art classes, for example, could be similar to like pastels or something like that. Oops. And you'll see that the opposite side is still white. Now, what I'm going to do is just keep pushing it in, removing the excess amount. Because obviously there's going to be an excess amount. You'll see that'll come off, obviously. Oh yeah, don't worry guys, you doing this, make sure you just wash your hands with soap and water. You know, if you want a little bit more cleaning power or wetting power, you know, you can use something like abrasive, like I don't know, toothpaste or baking soda, for example. You know. Anyways, make sure I'm in frame, so you'll see that you'll see the opposite side is still white. So you'll see like that. Now, unfortunately, I wish I had more lipstick colors. I seem to be able to find red. And you know, it's kind of hard to ask people. Because, you know, guys, it's kind of weird when you ask your friend, can I borrow some lipstick when you're a guy? Or can I borrow? Do you have any blue lipstick? Do you have any orange lipstick? Right. I mean, red's easy to find. Red and pinks, but so you can see that. Now, also I'm applying there later on. Now, also I didn't even use much. So I'm gonna apply a little bit more on. Now, also, this is just a mixed color type of feather right here. And of course, this could be adapted for other things too. Trust me. You'll probably see a lot more of this. Getting a little bit of the red on the back side, but not too much in comparison to the front side. Just reading what you guys are saying. Oh, okay. So you can see that here. Just show us real quick here. Now, every so often when you're rubbing it off, try to get the excess off. Like I said, you'll see that a lot of it's coming off right here. Make sure I'm in frame here. So get that excess off here. No, I'm not gonna go really up the center too much. Although I could have, I guess. So when you feel it again with your fingers, rub through it, go through it with your fingers. You don't feel or notice any lipstick come on your hands, because now it's mostly in the feather or on this piece of paper or on this cloth. Yeah. And the back side is a little bit pinkish now, which is fine. Now also, like I said, I could add other colors in, but that's what I got right now. So I'll just show you guys real quick so you guys can see this red, pinkish color, a little bit black, a little bit of white in there. Alright. So let me put the lipstick away here real quick. So we got this. So let's put that piece of paracord back on. Outer shell, outer sleeve. Kind of show you guys right there. Let me put the pen back in here. Oh, I check on something real quick too. Alright, so I got the pen in now. So let me push this down a little here. Try to get the pen back in here. So that's where it stops right there. So I probably could do a little bit more. But I don't mind that little white stripe right there, or line. Might be multifunctional. Now, depending on who you are, you might be able to make this a little bit wider so it's more comfortable in the hand. For example, so when you're writing something like it'll be more comfortable in the hand. Now, if you're real good, now I haven't done this yet, but I don't see why not. You can be able to do this. And I'll use another example of something different, but what I call a pine pen. But you can make it from any piece of wood. Alright, or a wooden pen. You can take this to the next level. Hollow it out so you can put your, instead of using the paracord, use a piece of wood so it's a little bit thicker, more dense. Now imagine this on this end, but the wood is covering your feather, so to speak, and your feather is still sticking out at the top. You know, picture both these side by side. Together, I should say. That could be very interesting, very unique. You know, maybe something if you want to express yourself, so to speak, at like school or whatever, or in class. You know, that's something to consider. Easy, fairly easy to make. I mean, like, all you need is, well, right size feather, pen, something like outer strand of paracord, could be from some other type of cordage, like nylon type of cordage, and maybe a stick, a fairly straight stick with a drill bit. Well, a small drill bit. You do something similar to either one of these two. And add some color or whatever from like some sort of dye or what I used here. You can make something very unique, which school's coming back in for a session in the fall here next month, right? It's August already, like within like what, 2 weeks here for most people, for most kids. I mean, you can make this relatively quickly. Just gotta find the feather really, and maybe a proper straight stick. Then you can do whatever. I mean, like, you can probably make this really, really elaborate where you have something like what I have right here with the feather. Have a piece of wood, solar engrave it, your name in it. Have a feather pen that's like, that you might even be able to get a cap on. You'll have to has your name on it. I mean, like, I think if you were in school, primary school or whatever, and you had something like that, your friends would be like, "Wow, that's the coolest pen ever. Where'd you get that?" And you could say, "Oh, I made it," or "My daddy made it," or my friend helped me made it, or whatever, right? So, that could be something to consider. And of course, for me, I just have it just because I have it. Just because I know where my pen is, because it's sticking out like this on my neck. So if I could, I would try to get a bright color tip for myself, but whatever can work for you guys out there. Let me just put this away here real quick. I might actually change the red out to white, but for now, I'll just put it to the side. Or maybe I'll do it with this other one that I have. I think the tricky part is to actually find a feather that's actually big enough. And of course, there's variations on pens. But, instead of having a pen like everyone else, you can have a very more unique type of pen, more personalized. Hey, it could be, and I'm familiar with birds enough, but I mean, like, you might be able to use a different bird type of for a feather, not just a basic seagull like feather that I have, for example. You probably could put dots on it or whatever. Anyways, enough about that for a second. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee right here. Cheers, everyone. Yes, even my coffee cup right now is red. I figure might as well show off the passion for creation mode. Wait. Yeah. Let me put this back in the frame here. Ooh, put the YouTube sticker back, or YouTube magnet back on the screen here. Now, let me bring something else out here. Oops. Oops. You know, thank goodness I just had that cough, because I just knocked my coffee. Because I didn't actually want it on the same surface I have, because, well, I'm working in this area, so. But, anyways. So the next thing here that I want to try to attempt right now is to figure out what to do on making, how do I say, well, basically, this is more like, well, it could be used for survival reasons, or, you know, bushcraft type of thing. Now, of course, now Gray wants to say so. Oh, that's cool, Gray. Hey, you know, whatever works, alright? I mean, if anything, you're not even really, you spend a little bit of time at it. Like I said, you just have to source out the materials. I mean, it could be useful, just maybe not useful, but unique. Where, hey, they're not gonna take it because it's the only one, right? Who knows? I mean, I'm still working on how to kind of per se build it up. So, you know, just try it for yourself. So, next thing I wanna, anyways, like I was saying, but now everyone is familiar with like a whetstone, for example. Now, if you have a very flat stone, rock, for example, with a tight type of grain to it, such as this right here, it's flat right here, it could be used as kind of like a makeshift improvised type of grinding type of or honing type of stone for like a cutting tool, like a knife. It just has to be perfectly flat and as tight of a grain as possible, as small as possible, so it's fairly fine. Now I've had this for a while. It took, you know, I'm always taking a look for like rocks like these, because it is possible to find these. I mean, this is fine. Now, another thing I like to do is, which is kind of funny, from the last thing, is take some sort of brighter color nail polish. Now, obviously, you could use spray paint, whatever, right? Whatever works. As long as it can stay on there and it's not waterproof, or at least resistant enough over time. So that's why I did this rock right here. It's green, that's nail polish. Just so I can notice it. Because it's flat on this side, so I can use it like with the scissors right here. Finding my edge and going across it like this. Trying to hone down the edge. I actually did use this a few times. I have actually used this a few times now. You know, it's not gonna be as fast as or maybe not even as great as a actual whetstone, but infield type of maintenance for your cutting tool is important. You know, this might be good enough, for example, to give you a cutting edge that's better, let's just say. No, it's not, maybe not as great as your whetstone or such an yada yada at home that you have, but something like this is something you can just easily bring with you if you didn't have one. Or, for example, if you're out in the woods or whatever, or nature, you have a cutting tool, smooth rock that's flat on one side could be an option, and the wider it is, the easier it is to work with, because it fits in your hand better, especially if you want to touch up your axe. It's a little bit different in comparison to like a small knife, because it's much easier with something wider and, well, bigger. Yo, what's up, Nathaniel? Hey, man. Nathaniel's Adventures in the house. So yeah, this is one of the stones I have. You know, I didn't realize how hard it is to actually sometimes to find a flat stone that has a tight collection of, like, the grid size is very tight and very fine. I mean, this is fairly fine. I found some other ones, but sometimes they're really, really small flat surfaces, or the rock's not ideal for, you know, touching a piece of metal, like on a cutting tool or whatever. It just didn't work, or it didn't seem like it was working. At least this feels like it's working, and, you know, I can easily, hell, I probably could EDC this, everyday carry this. Still thinking of secondary uses though, but I guess I have something green. Anyways, well, the reason why I kind of brought this up is because if I have a bigger one, I was like, oh, maybe I can nest it inside of like a piece of wood or whatever, so I have a little bit more purchase on the rock or stone or whatever, so I can use it more like those puck type of things or whatever that you can use for like an axe or a hatchet. It's just something I've been thinking of. And hopefully the next one I find will actually be bigger than this one right here. I really should remember to stay in focus. Maybe leave my YouTube sticker. If anyone wonders why I use the YouTube or have these things, it's because so I can see my frame, so I'm actually in frame, because all I gotta do is make sure I put my object over top of it, because I'm not looking at the screen right now. And I see Nathaniel saying hi. Hey, I'm doing alright, Nathaniel. Thank you for asking very much. I appreciate you taking the time to drop in. And, you know, a little bit off topic here for a second here, is, you know, this is why I do live streams at different times, is because not everyone can make it to set scheduled events, such as Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Some people can't make that, for example, so I vary it up to give people that work night shift, my overseas channel supporters, a chance to drop in, the chance to, you know, check it live, you know, interact with me, and get the discussion going, get the creativity going, get the chit chat going, and all that stuff. So, anyways, hey, thanks, Royce. That's awesome. Good morning. Oh, wait. Might as well put a sunrise in there, right? Speaking of sunrise, it's actually the sun's starting to come up here in Western Canada soon here. Out east, the sun's already out. It's already sunny and sunrise, but out west, it's just, let's just say it's getting closer to dawn and it's brighter and brighter outside. So anyways, yeah, anyways, enough about the rock. I don't know, sometimes I've actually taken like green scrubby type patches to go over top of it just to remove any excess stuff on here. Kind of new at it, but I don't know. So I'm not completely sure what to do, but at least, you know, I didn't put much into it, so, you know, if I find more of these, that's cool. That'll be cool. I take something like this Mora right here, which I've shown before, and kind of, now, this ain't ready in this Mora yet, such and such, but, you know, find that nice angle and kind of swirl it around, I guess, as they say, make circles. I know for me, I tend to do it by sound when I use something like this. I don't know why. Like, I know some people do it by like touch or whatever, but I do it by sound when I'm sharpening something. But maybe that's just me, or maybe it's just because I'm using a rock. But when I'm using this rock, I tend to listen to it more. So even if I have music playing or headphones on, I take them off, turn down the volume so I can actually hear it. And sometimes I can't feel when I'm doing so much, but I can listen to it, listen to the changes in the pitch or whatever. But that's just me. That's just the way I've been doing it. Oh, remove that. So, anyways, let me grab the next thing here. I'll probably go for, let's say 10-15 minutes on this. Not because I don't have any more to create, it's actually because I need to take a short break. I can't. It takes a lot to, especially the longer the live stream is, because what starts to happen is you talk so much and feel thirsty because you've been talking the whole time through and such, and you know, and such. But most likely there'll be another live stream after this because I have another thing I want to discuss anyways. So one more part in this creation mode. Now, everyone's familiar with these kind of silicone type of bands. This is just the one that I just researched earlier. Now, because this actually happened to me, what do you do when these rip? Think about it for a sec. These rip, you can't wear it like a bracelet anymore, right? Well, something I thought of, because, well, just because I had one broke on me and I'm like, there's gotta be something you can use them for, right? Give it a second life before, well, tossing it. Try to reuse it before you toss it. So, what I did was taking just a few simple things, some cordage, and a keyring. I came up with this idea right here. Now that's just you know, I think this is a zipper chainstint. Yes, you probably could use like this Cobra stitch weave maybe in here, key rings just to hold it. But basically, similar to what I was saying much earlier in the first hour, in the first part of the live stream, I can hang this on something, whatever, right? Stretch it and use the rubber, for example, on it, because it's nice and soft. I stretch it, you'll see the marks on there. And I've used this for stropping a blade on. So, for example, taking out that Mora knife right here, I would strop it. Now, obviously, I'm not doing this really hard, and I don't have the perfect, well, let's just say I don't have the perfect space and enough leeway on the table for it, but you'll get the idea. And go like this, flip it down, and go like this. Not actually doing it, but you'll get the idea. Now, obviously, this is quite narrow, but it is possible. I've done it a few times. And that's why you see the marks on here. I've actually used it for stropping. So in theory, if this one ever broke, I guess I could use it. Maybe even use it for like some other things. Maybe a diffuser for a light source or something like that. So, 5-minute warning for this kind of live stream right now. I'll be taking off in about next 5 minutes here, give or take. So, and again, you know, what I've shown in this live stream, you know, take it for what it is. It's creation mode. Just expressing myself. You know, take from it what you can. And I really do encourage everyone, adapt ideas. Consider it. You know, maybe it's not totally, oh hey, I took 100% of it. No, maybe you're just taking 5% of it and adapting it to what you have, with what you know, with your own skill level, tools, resources that you have. You know, I'm all down for that. This actually means that, you know, well, that a video like this, or a live stream I should say, you know, helps someone out. Hey, I'm happy that I could help out. You know, and I appreciate the constructive feedback and return that I've gotten from this live stream. Very much so. Everyone that came by. You know, I know Rose and Nathaniel, you weren't here too long, but I mean, like, Gray Bob, Gray 11-7 Bombs, Woodland Adventures, and Cabin Life with Glenn and Maureen, specifically Glenn, you know, and, you know, Pam's Great Outdoor Adventures. You know, you guys gave me a couple, you know, extra things to consider. And of course, you know, you guys made the live stream more entertaining. It's always nice to have an audience and all that stuff, so I appreciate that. And I should also say I appreciate that Creators Alliance came over, so channel supporting. I appreciate that very much. It was very nice of you. And let's see, Robbie Bobby, you know, Hey, thanks, man. I always appreciate it. And I figure, since I was showing off some more stuff here, I might as well bring them back on the screen here. But more maple leaves, right? Oh, wait. I almost forgot. Can't forget. Not just the maple leaves. I'll show something else here. I'm gonna turn off some lights here for it, but you'll get the idea. Let me just turn off a few lights here. Ooh, it got dark. It's not getting even darker. Ooh, so you can see some lights. Let me just move a few lights out of the way. Ooh, yeah, that's really bright, hey? Oh yeah, that's really bright. Let me just cover it for a sec. Ooh. I figure I might as well show some white and red right here. Hopefully no one's like annoyed by it, but I just wanted to, that's why it's at the end of the video. Anyways, let me just turn on some lights back on again. I just wanted to show that. I'll work back on the white balance here. So, let's see, any last things here? Okay. So, most likely you'll see in our live stream after this, a little bit later. I need to take a short break. You know, try to get some more coffee and some breakfast in me. So, of course, special thanks to all my Canadian subscribers and all the Canadian people that came by on this one. I appreciate it very much. So much so that I had to actually put it up on the screen. Anyways, like always, leave me a comment down below if you're watching the replay of this. Timestamp it for whatever reason, right? Consider what I said with a grain of salt. You know, apply it to your own stuff, your own things that you're creating, whatever it is. You know, I truly believe anyone can create. Us as a human species, we were meant to create. We were meant to create. So I'll leave it at that. So once again, like always, as the world changes so much oneself to reach a new level of skill and knowledge, one must practice. A single person can't help everyone in this world, but one person, regardless of age, nationality, race, gender, size, height, IQ level, can help someone in this world. And until the next time, it's peace out from the guy that's 98.6% of the time in creation mode. And let's see who actually knows why I say 98.6% of the time. It's not just a number. And until that next time, it's peace out from CR, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out, guys. Enjoy the week.